Hey guys, it's Elena. Happy Pride, everyone. And I kind of wanted to do something that a lot of people aren't doing. There's so many bad things to talk about in this world. I wanted to take a break from that and give you some positive Pride news. Some good things that have been happening lately that everyone should know about. All right, number one on the list. A town called Watertown in New York is standing up for LGBTQ plus rights. A man had ripped down the rainbow flag flying in front of their city hall, so dozens of people actually came together to protest. Then something wonderful happened. Just as people started to gather, they found out that the man who had torn down that pride flag had been arrested. The group of people kept growing as they marched through town, decked out in rainbows and holding signs to show their support. The protest turned into a celebration. And if that's not one of the best things to think about right now, I don't know what is. Everyone's been flooded with commercials about voting in the primaries, especially the Democratic primary, and some good news has actually come out of this. One of the most anti-LGBTQ plus politicians in the country, his name is Steve King, he has lost his first primary in 18 years. He served 9 terms. This man was openly homophobic, transphobic, racist, and even embraced neo-Nazism. But on June 2nd, he was successfully voted out. He is not going to be running against a Democrat because another Republican beat him. And now on to everyone's favorite cheese noodle man. You know who I'm talking about. Oh god, he's still president, isn't he? Okay. The Trump administration posted ridiculous advertisements asking white supremacists to use violence against Black Lives Matter protesters. They claimed that they just wanted to stop the Antifa activists. For those of you who don't know, Antifa stands for anti-fascist. They're a political group that has very good intentions, but sometimes gets a lot more violent than they should. So the Trump administration tried to speak out against Antifa specifically and not Black Lives Matter, but it kind of blew up in their faces. They claim they just want to stop the Antifa activists, who actually make up a very small portion of the now mostly peaceful protests, according to police arrest records reported by the Washington Post. But instead of showing the real symbol of Antifa in their ads, the Trump administration put out a picture of an upside-down red triangle. Sound familiar? It's not exactly pink, but it's far too close for comfort. Here's the good news. Facebook removed the ads for violating their policy on organized hate. Another election that went really great, Richie Torres and Mondaire Jones have won their respective primaries to be the first openly gay Black men to ever serve in Congress. Joe Biden, a little bit of a problematic figure, but he's doing his best. He has promised to use his possible presidency to put a stop to the increasing violence against Black trans women. No one else has done that. All of the Trump supporters are kind of rising up to mock him for it, but it's very good news. On June 15th of this year, the Supreme Court pushed back against the Trump administration and ruled that, quote, "It is impossible to discriminate against a person for being homosexual or transgender without discriminating against that individual based on sex." What that means is LGBTQ plus people have been officially considered protected under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which outlaws discrimination in the workplace, in schools, in voting booths, and in all public accommodations on the basis of sex. So, even though it should have been in the laws a very long time ago, we now have a federal ruling saying that LGBTQ plus people cannot be discriminated against in any way without facing legal repercussions. This might not be put into practice as often or as quickly as we hope, but the precedent is now there, which is a huge step forward. In the spirit of honoring both those in the LGBTQ plus community and all people of color, there are so many notable people that I could mention. The greatest LGBTQ plus activists in history have all been people of color. I could talk about Marsha P. Johnson, Sylvia Rivera, Stormy DeLavery, but I want to mention a man called Bayard Rustin. This guy was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s right-hand man. He's in almost every picture you can find of MLK, but no one knows who he is, and that's because he was gay. He later served on humanitarian missions all over the world and became the head of the AFL-CIO's A. Philip Randolph Institute, which is an organization dedicated to promoting the unionization of Black people, because up to that point, unions had been very exclusively white only. To anyone out there who feels like there's no acceptance for you, or you've come out to someone recently and they haven't accepted you, or you just feel like you're alone in the world, just know that you're not. There are so many people who have your back. We're gonna get through this. There are so many bad things going on, even now, but we should focus on the good things too, because so much has gotten better, and it's only gonna keep getting better if we keep fighting. Bye.